marriage the way we believe in it in the Orthodox faith. It's for life. It's for life. Salvation is for life. It's intended for all of us to be in Him and with Him, and He is in us. Falling away from God's grace, it means not having that relationship. We sever that relationship. And believe me, it's not God who is severing relationship. It's us severing relationship with Him. And obviously God has expectation. You want to be with me and relate to me, you have to be like me. And to be like me, I will give you all the possibilities, all the energies, all the resources to make you like me. God gives us all of this. All what we have to say, respond to Him by saying yes. I'm in. Who else is in? Are you in? And be in every day. Every day. You know, I think inside us we have lamb and we have goats. And you know what I'm talking about, right? You have days when you have all kinds of strange thoughts. Where do they come from? Oh my gosh, what am I thinking that way? Have you been there? You have. That's the goat in you. That's the goat in you. God gave us a lot of great things in us. God gave us the ability to love and to give and to offer. God gave us the gift of pain. So when we stick our finger in the socket, we go like this, it hurts. If you keep it longer, what would happen to you or any one of us? Guess what? You're gone. God gave us the gift of pain. God gave us the gift of sexuality, that we desire one another, that when we have it in the right way, we keep it in the parameter of marriage between man and a husband and a wife. Sex is good in the right place. But when you violate the boundaries of the most wonderful gifts that God gives us, you become goating. That's a new term, goating. And when you start saying, I have no boundaries. So you got a balance between the gift that God gives you and your ability to choose and boundaries. If you stretch the boundaries, you're going to fall. And that's what we call goating on this Sunday. So brothers and sisters, we need to stop goating and rejoice and celebrate all the wonderful gifts that God gives us. The gift of thought. We can't do without it. That's what makes us human. But we either have good thoughts or wrong thoughts or evil thoughts. And the thoughts that we contain in us, that we keep having in us, that we keep dreaming about and thinking about, shape who we are. You are who you think. You agree? You are who you think. If you think about positive and holy things all the time, guess what? You shall become holy. If you continue to think about evil things, when you goat and you stretch your limit, and you're constantly thinking in those terms, you become it. There is two different kind of creations. Creation in thoughts and in action. It always begins with thoughts. It always begins with our wonderful God-given mind and nous and soul. We are two parts in one entity. We are souls and bodies. And the body is designed to serve the soul. And goats are those who don't think that way. They think the soul ought to serve the body. The sheep think differently. The sheep think the body ought to serve the soul. And the sheep obedient. The sheep follow instructions. The sheep, even though they think of all different possibilities, yet day after day after day, they choose to be with God. The second part, and the significant part of the gospel reading this morning, it's about what it means to have faith in God. We live in a culture that you hear the term sola fide. It means faith alone. Faith alone. And the scriptures this morning saying there is no such thing as faith alone. There is no such thing as faith alone. Faith alone is only intellectual or spiritual assent. And you need that. It's essential. But it's not alone. First, faith first. Faith first. And then comes what? The second creation, the physical creation, is what you do with your thoughts and your faith. What matters? Look what Jesus said. I was hungry, and you gave me food. I was thirsty, and you gave me drink. I was naked, and you clothed me. I was in prison, and you came and visited me. And everybody started looking around. Is he talking to us? He said, once you've done it to one of these, you've done it to me. Once you've done it to one of these, it means faith has to make you do things to others and those around us. Faith is about bearing fruit. That faith first is about making a difference in your society, in your families, in your friends, in your language. What kind of faith is it when we can't restrain our own language? Well, what kind of faith is it when I see my brother without food and I become so callous and says, let him take care of himself. And I don't look upon myself and I say, I am my brother's keeper. You know, the greatest sin of Cain, not only killing his own brother. When God asked him about his brother, he said, when God asked him about his brother, he meant, you are responsible about your brothers. You are responsible about those who are around you. You are responsible about those who am I entrusted to your care and to your fellowship and your communion. Are you showing that kind of responsibility? Are you caring for those around you? They may not look the right way. They may not have the right color. They may not have the right clothes. But I think Jesus is saying to us, Every time you look at someone else who is another, you're looking at me. Every time you look at another person, you've got to see Christ in them. So from now on, brothers and sisters, every time you see someone, no matter where they come from and what kind of looks they have, what kind of clothes they have, look at them, because in them, I promise you, in them, and if the scripture is true, in them is Christ. In the name of the Father, and the Son,